Hello, welcome back to the Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life reading. This book, I brought you along this journey, and thank you guys for tuning in. It's almost been a year since I started this book, and I still haven't finished it. But thank you guys for watching. Whoever's watching, appreciate y'all, and remember your ancient past, and let's get going on this book. And I'm about to order the second one, and I ordered this other book I'm gonna start reading on the channel too, from Albertus Magnus, the Secret of Magic and Stones and all these herbs. So I got that, and I got the Crowley Esoteric tarot cards. So I'll show you guys those when I get those. Those look pretty cool. I know he's like a bad guy, but I got the cards because it was like the new age, for our interpretation, at least for that time in the 1920s. And those people knew a lot of esoteric knowledge, so they put it in the tarot cards. So I'm interested in seeing the art in them. And if you guys are interested in seeing when I get the stuff, hit the like button, let me know. I'll try to show you guys. And I say I'm going to make a lot of videos of like Tory Gym and this and that. And I am eventually going to do some videos about that company. And I just been really busy. I have, my life, 2 jobs, going to school, trying to go to school. So we'll see how that plays out. But I'll let you guys know in the future what I'm going to be trying to get into. And I'm going to try to start something going on here. But it's going to be all your guys' help. You guys are going to help this out. And if you guys want to come along this journey into the future, to the far, far future, okay. Then spin the shape to create a sphere. The octahedron the students created this way had 3 axes, front to back, left to right, and up and down. They were told to spin the shape around one of the axes. It didn't matter which, and it didn't matter which direction. They would spin it one way or the other. Then they would spin the shape once around another axis. Okay. And once around the third axis. With just one spin around each of the 3 axes, they traced the perimeters of a perfect sphere. Before the students were allowed to move their own point of consciousness, they were taught to spin this octahedral form and create a sphere around themselves. It has been agreed upon by everyone involved in square geometry that I know of that a straight line is male and any curved line is female. Thus, one of the most male forms is a square or a cube, and one of the most female forms is a circle or a sphere. Since the octahedron that spirit projected is made up of only straight lines, it's a male shape. And since the sphere is made of only curved lines, it's a female shape. What the Egyptians did was to create a male form and then convert it to a female form. They went from maleness to femaleness. This same story is related through the Bible, where Adam was created first, and then from Adam, or out of Adam's rib was created the female. Of course, the image of spirit inside the sphere is also the image of the school. Square geometry started when the spirit made its first projection into the void and created the first octahedron around itself. The void is infinite, nothing in it, and these forms being created are also nothing. They're just imaginary lines created out of consciousness. This gives you an indication of what reality is: nothing. The Hindus call reality Maya, which means illusion. Spirit can sit in the middle of its first creation for a long time, figure 5 to 31, but eventually it'll make a decision to do something. To recreate this process, mystery school students were given instructions to reenact the same motions that spirit took. Two simple instructions are all that's required to create and complete everything in the entire universe. Foolproof systems for creating reality. You cannot make a mistake no matter what you do. All you do is move to what is newly created and project another sphere, the same size as the first one. In this system, since nothing exists except this bubble in the void, and the inside of the bubble is the same as the outside, the only thing that's new or different is the membranes itself, the surface of the sphere. So consciousness decides to go to the surface. It makes no difference where it goes. On the surface, it can go anywhere. It doesn't make any difference sense. It doesn't make any difference how it gets there either, whether it goes in a straight line or curves or spiral out of out or explores every speck of space in between. It can be really creative. It doesn't make any difference, but somehow or another it will end up somewhere on the surface of the sphere. For purposes of this example, we'll say spirit went up to the top, just to be symmetrical and easier to deal with. Anyways, spirit, this little single eye, lands on the surface, figure 5 to 32. It has just made the first motion in Genesis, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And the very next thing was, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. At this point, Spirit knows how to do only one thing. Actually, it knows how to do two things. But the end result is one. It knows one, how to project the little octahedron and create a sphere, and two, how to move to what's newly created. That's it, a very simple reality. So once it arrives on the surface, it makes another octahedron, spins it through the three axes, and forms another sphere identical in size to the first one. It's identical in size because its ability to project into the void is the same. Nothing has changed in that respect. So it creates a second sphere actually the same size as the first. Got a little bit of uh, audio interference. Give me a second. Yeah, my reading is a very it's not the best, but what we're gonna do, get through this, guys. Bear with me. I need to be more like they're like a robot or whatever, but or more. I'm a little slightly dyslexic too, so sometimes I see words like I'm not really focused on. I don't know. It's maybe lazy reading, I guess. But if you guys like my reading, let me know. Give me 1 through 10, 1 through 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. The Vesica Pisces. The Vesica Pisces. 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 The Vesica Pisces, through which light is created. When it does that, it has done something that, in terms of scalar geometry, is very special. It has formed a Vesica Pisces. Pisces? Pieces. If anyone can say it, let me know. At that intersection of the two spheres, have you ever seen the two soap bubbles together? When two soap bubbles intersect, a line or circle goes around their linkage. If you were looking at the two bubbles from the side, the newly formed sections would look like a line. But if you were looking down at the two bubbles from the top, you would see the newly created formed circumference inside the larger sphere. The Vesica Pisces circumference is symmetrical to and smaller than the circumference of the larger sphere. In other words, it would appear from the side like a straight line, figure 5 to 34 center, and from the top like a circle, right? When though the Vesica Pisces is usually two-dimensional like a coin. Do you guys want to see? It's like the rings, and it kind of looks like the eggs, when you're being created, like the sperm, the eggs, the woman. The first motion day, the first two spheres of creation, left section view, center, and plane overhead view. They're connected. Okay. I apologize for my reading again. I'm trying to give you guys a good one. I appreciate y'all that do watch, and it's just kind of like I want to keep doing this and see where it goes. But here we go, gentlemen, ladies, aliens, reptilians. Its three-dimensional aspect is just as valid. If you were to take it out of middle of the two sphere, okay, three-dimensional aspects is just as valid. If you were to take it out of the middle of the two spheres, it would look similar to a football-like figure. And it kind of looks like a UFO spaceship. Look at it. Maybe God's like an eye spaceship. It just travels, zoom, 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 like the eyes everywhere. The eye. I cannot prove this to you now, but later in this book, I'll be able to prove that this image is light. It's a geometric image through which light was created. It's also the geometric image through which your eyes were created, which receive light. Besides light, it's also the image of the patterns that are connected to your emotions and many, many other aspects of life. This is the basic geometry of the electromagnetic field. It's too simple to understand here. I have to wait until things get more complex. Then I can explain it. I'll show you that the first motion of Genesis creates the pattern that is life. That's the reason why God said, "Let there be light." He couldn't say that until he had projected the second sphere and made the Vesica Pisces. The second motion creates the star tetrahedron. When the spirit is in the center of its second sphere and looking down at the Vesica Pisces, it's looking upon a newly formed circle. The circle of the Vesica Pisces this circle is the only thing that's new, and Spirit's instructions are to go to what's newly created. It doesn't make any difference where it goes on the new circle. It cannot make a mistake. It just moves to somewhere on that circle and projects a new sphere as in figure 5 to 36. No matter where the spirit lands, we can rotate the sphere to look like this drawing. So I'm going to say that it moved on the circle to point A on the left. At that moment, a huge amount of information was created. In every motion of Genesis, vast amounts of knowledge come out. The first creation produced a sphere. The first motion day produced the Vesica Pisces, which is the basis of light. The second motion day produced in the interpenetration interpenetrating relationships between the three spheres, the basic geometries of the star tetrahedron, which you will soon see is one of the most important shapes for life. We We're not going to get into all the information that was formed at this time, but each time a new sphere is formed, more and more information is unfolds and more creative patterns become visible. After the first and second motion have taken place from anywhere on the sphere to anywhere on the circle, no matter how spirit moved, no matter where it went on the circle sphere, it will always be perfect. It will begin to move equally on the equator of the original sphere. There are an infinite number of equators on that sphere, but it will choose a perfect one. Pretty. And these are like all the symbols that we see everywhere. That's like the Viking symbol, I think. One of them. I think it looks like it. Yeah, I apologize again for my reading. I feel, these words, my pronunciation, I get a little, cross-eyed, I guess. My slight dyslexia. But I'm gonna focus my eyeballs on just, who knows? Who freaking knows? I don't know. I don't know nothing. I'm just right here. And whoever's watching this, thank you. Because you're over there and we have something in common. You guys like this book or this interpretation. And I was going to say, when I'm done reading this book, whoever wants it, I was going to let one of my friends read it. But if she doesn't want to, like, really read it, then I'll send it to one of you guys and I'll sign it with my nickname, whatever, my robot name, my cybernetic name. So signing is not like, I'm someone, but, I think how when you check out books, everyone signs it, who read it. Maybe it's like we're all connected somehow. If you guys are interested, my subscribers, or, yeah, I think for you guys, is for mostly, if you guys want this book, just let me know you're subscribed. And I know it's beat up, I didn't take care of it that good, but maybe you can find a new home and you guys can just go through this book and read it, and then you guys can pass it on to someone else and so on. So if you guys want this book, let me know. I'll send it to you guys. I'll pay for the shipping and everything, so let me know. Okay, so here we go. Okay, the second motion creates the star tetrahedron. When the spirit is in the center of its second sphere and looking down in the Vesica Pisces, it's looking upon a newly formed circle, the circle of the Vesica Pisces. This circle is the only thing that's new, and spirit's instructions are to go to what's newly created. It doesn't make any difference where it goes. Oh. Okay, sorry. See? Getting distracted. Move to that which is newly created until completion. After that pattern is created, there's only one instruction left to follow forever. The only other action to be taken until the end of time is always to move to the innermost circle points and project another sphere. For the sake of clarity, let's define what we mean by innermost circle points. Point. Look at figure 5 to 36. In this case, there are three innermost circle points. If your eyes were to trace the outside perimeter of this pattern, it would come to three places that are the closest places to center. It is these closest places to center that we are calling the innermost circle points. In the case of the Genesis pattern that this movement of spirit is creating, there are six innermost circle points. So what so with this in mind, spirit starts moving exactly around the equator of the original or central sphere. It has traversed the full 360 degrees and reaches the point at which it started, which will be 6 points or movements. It begins to follow its second impulse or instructions. For the mystery school students, move to the innermost circle points, which are now located on the circumference of the original sphere where two Vesica Pisces intersect. Simply put, they are the points as close as possible to the outside of the patterns that continental continual movements begin to form a vortex. This vortex motion creates different types of three-dimensional forms, one after another, which are the building blocks of blueprints of the entire reality. Once the spirit has created the third sphere, it now moves to the innermost circle points and projects another sphere. There is information here, but it is too complex to discuss at this time. This is very interesting. It is the fourth motion day, figure 5 to 3, 9. It says in many Bibles in the world that on the fourth day of Genesis, exactly one half of creation was completed, starting from the first motion, exactly one of the circles was formed. We have moved exactly 180 degrees from the point of first motion, figure 5 to 40. Is the fifth day of Genesis. More information, and then on the sixth day, figure 5 to 41, a geometric miracle takes place. The last circle forms a complete six petaled flower. This is what many of the early Bibles meant when they said, "In the beginning there were six," or Bible now says that creation was formed in 6 days, and this fits exactly. This is a pattern of Genesis, so we're referring to it as the Genesis pattern. It's the beginning of creation of this universe we live in. I'm gonna show you. Woo. And it's like the atom. It's like they knew. And right now too, it feels like the energy is like she's flowing. The vortexes, the vortex, the vortex. Okay, we're almost done. Here we go. This is the last chapter to the fifth chapter. I mean, not the last chapter. The last page for the fifth chapter. These original movements of spirit are really important. This is why I spend so much time going through this near the beginning of this course. Later on, we'll get more complex. But for now, this is just the beginning of how to manifest the reality. Manifest of reality is created. Manifestation of reality is created. Okay, see? We pull these 3D shapes of the page in a minute. One by one, if they could be made solid, you could look at them and hold them in your hands. We will begin to ground this abstract information into reality for you. Then we're going to take them further to show you how they actually create the reality we live in. If you study this on your own, you'll be seeing some extremely elaborate aspects of creation come from this explanation of the reality. If you were constructing these geometries yourself, you would draw a line somewhere in the square geometry that spirit makes as it moves through the void, and it'll mean something amazing. Then another line will mean something else even more amazing. Life began simply, then created the complex world we live in. This is not just mathematics, and it's not just circles or geometries. This is the living map of the creation of all reality. You must understand this, or you'll get lost and won't understand what this book is leading to. The reason we're doing all this is so that your left brain can understand the unity of all creation, so that polarity consciousness can be transcended. Yeah, so we just finished that. Hooray! Hooray! It wasn't like the best reading, and I'm not too, uh, too fond of it, but I appreciate you guys. I think I'm gonna keep this one short. The significant shape and structure. So getting more into the shapes, and it's gonna show a lot of shapes and the vortexes and the vortices, because like magic and stuff, like they're saying that, well, the energy, the chi energy in your hands, so you can create vortices of creation, and they're like they spin off your hands. It's like energy, and right now I feel, let's see if we can make this error kick up. I know. Let's see. Whoa! But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Have you guys ever heard that? Seen it somewhere? But thank you guys. It's a beautiful day in paradise, and if you guys want me to read some other books you guys have in mind, like these type of books, um, Drunvalo has another book too. I'm gonna order, and it looks like a good one too. So we're gonna get that one, start reading on the channel. If you guys want, if you guys like the videos, like the reading, I know there's a lot of errors, and we're just going with the flow. We're not really gonna edit a lot of these videos, and we're just gonna let them riff. So yeah, thank you guys. Stop recording. Stop. Stop. Stop recording. Stop.